here we are, how to 3x, triple, double your revenue without spending $1. Okay, so we can start from an example, but a real scenario. So we have company A on one side and company B on the other side, right? So company A and B both invest 10,000 in advertising, whether it's Google Ads, any kind of advertising effort, right? And both they're getting 200 leads. So that means they're paying $50 per lead. Anyway, same spending, same results in terms of leads. Attention, right? Because here what it shows the real difference. Now, because of sales, company A has a closing rate of 30%. Now we're gonna go through after what is a closing rate, right? And company B has a 60% closing rate. What does that mean? That company A, out of 200 leads, 200 quotes sent, they get 60 moving jobs booked. While company B, 60% closing rate. So that means 120 booked moving jobs, right? So assuming that a move on average, now of course it depends from your area, how much you're charging and all those things, but assuming that the average profit per move is $500, if you multiply 60 moving jobs per $500, we get 30,000 on gross profit for company A. So take off approximately 30% of labor cost, that's 9,000, minus the 10,000 of the advertising budget, that's 11,000 that you bring with you at home. Okay, on the other hand, let's see company B. So as we say, same budget, same amount of leads, different closing rate, more jobs booked, right? So we do 120 times 500, that's 60,000 on gross profit, right? They spend the same, but it already shows the difference. Of course, also here, 30% labor cost. So from the 60,000, we take off 18,000 plus minus again the 10,000 advertising budget. Company B goes home with 32,000. Now you can see the clear difference, right? And this is what sales alone can do. Very simple, right? They spend the same efforts, same costs, but different sales. Next. All right, so if we see the big picture of that, company A, 11,000 on profit. After 1 year, they made 132,000. While company B, again, they're spending the same, they're using the same advertising effort, but because company B has better sales process, better sales techniques, and etc., look at the difference. This is what company B made in 1 year. And they spent the same. It's almost the triple. And this is 1 year. Let's see, 5 years. Company A has reached past $500,000, right? 660,000. But company B, again, almost the triple. You can see the clear difference here in revenue, just because of sales, right? There is no secret strategies or techniques here. Of course there are, but we'll see them. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. So how about 10 years time span? This is what happened if you have a 30% closing rate, company A, and a 60% closing rate, company B, right? Again, just to remind you, they spend the same, they invest the same budget into advertising, they get the same results, the same strategy, the same campaigns. What changes here are the sales. So you can see here clearly what kind of impact sales have into your revenue directly, right? Okay. So this is also because I hear many businesses, they say, oh, my marketing doesn't work. Well, it's not always about marketing, but it's also about sales. These two things, they go hand in hand. You cannot be good at one and bad at the other, or vice versa. Right? At least if you're good at sales, you're closing the majority of the opportunities that presents at your door. This is all it is about. So you gotta have good marketing and good sales as well. If we lack on one side, we're pouring water on the sand. This is it. This number here, the closing rate or conversion rate, tells you exactly how your sales are good or not, or excellent. And for those who wants to go a little bit deeper, I leave the link here below. I don't know, here somewhere. You can check out the presentation at your own pace. See you next.